Because I didn't think I thought we would see you one time and you'd just be like, whoa, I'm everywhere.
No, this is the one thing I always say when I'm running a show. I've been a promoter, I've been a vendor. As a vendor, you want to see the promoter. And I've got promoter friends that I love to death. But I'm like, dude, you got to be on that floor. You got to take the heat when it's good and when it's bad, and you got to take the praise when it's good. But you got to be moving. You got to be around them so they see you, they respect you more, and they're there.
Coming up because you're already recording.
No.
So, coming up on
that's
right.
No, that's good.
We are Fusionhaa. All right, Fusion fam, what's up? What's up?
Yo, yo, yo.
As you can see, we are at Conroe Comic Con, baby. What's going on? What's going on?
You don't see the background.
You don't see it? Yeah.
But we're in the back room at Comic Conroe.
Yeah. You know how back room type thing. So we have a special guest here. That sounded crazy, but don't worry about that. Introduce yourself to the people.
I'm Scott Smith. I'm the owner and promoter for Comic Conroe.
Okay.
All right, well, I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Chad. And together, this podcast, this tag team, this collective, these Comic Con Conqueror, these gaming gods, we are Fusionhaa.
Because we back here.
Yeah. All right.
Start it out.
So first and foremost, thank you for inviting us to this. This has been a great experience.
Oh, well, like I said, we always reach out to local groups. If you're local in the area, we're always going to reach out to you, and we want to work with any fan groups, any podcasts, any YouTube channels, any influencers that are local. National's great. Huge reach is great, but let's be real. People aren't going to drive across the country to come to a show that's got 6 or 7 celebrities at it, and 30 or 40 vendors and 20 to 30 artists. They're not going to make that trip. But when it's local and it's grassroots and it's people that are local fans, then that's who we want to reach out to.
Okay. Yeah. So Comic Conroe, where did you come up with this idea? This is Comic Cons are normally just see them like in bigger places and things like this, but you brought this to Conroe. What was your inspiration for that?
So my inspiration, I've lived in Houston my entire life, and I understand the mentality of Houston has always been with respect to the big shows. I know they all struggle with the same problem. People in Houston don't like to travel. So my initial goal when I started Comic Conroe was my plan was to do 3 to 5 shows around the Houston area, but to keep them on the outskirts. To do shows in Conroe, in Katy, in Sugarland, in maybe Pasadena or Galveston, or maybe out in Beaumont, or not Beaumont, Baytown. Trying to do the surrounding area of the Houston scene, because a lot of times people will go to Comic Palooza, but the numbers, we've got 7.5 million people in the Houston area and 35,000 people at Comic Palooza.
Whoa, we're down at 7 million now?
Yeah. The surrounding areas.
Yeah, and you got to add them.
So you're looking at 7.5 million people in the area, and literally Comic Palooza with some of the celebrities that they brought in should be way bigger. But Houston just doesn't like to travel. We've always been this way. I mean, like I said, I've grown up my entire life here. You can live, die, go to school, work, and never leave West Houston. Never leave Southeast Houston. Never leave. I mean, and where do you ask people where they're from? They don't say this neighborhood. They're Southeast. I'm from South. I live over on the West Side.
True.
I'm up North. They don't talk about anything like that and that's their entire community. So we said, all right, well, let's, instead of doing a show trying to compete with all the myriad shows that try to start in Houston proper, let's go to them. Let's go to that north area and try to get the Woodlands and Conroe and Montgomery and Huntsville and places like that to come to a show that's local for them.
All right.
And then the struggle and continuing to be the struggle is always venue space. We do struggle in Houston with having local communities with enough venue space to run events. You go up to Dallas, where our MC is from, and his whole area up there, he can throw a rock and hit 6 or 7 convention centers from his front porch. They're everywhere. In Houston, you're really limited. You've got a very small selection. We've got some mega convention centers with NRG and George R. Brown.
True.
But that's, there's not a lot of mid-level size.
That's so true.
Yes.
Dang. Boy, you said a lot.
Yeah.
A mouthful.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit you with the real facts.
No, I love it.
We don't hold off, and we don't pull punches.
Nah, I feel you, and I respect that highly. So what I was gonna say, I'm assuming you're a big nerd.
No.
You're not.
Yeah,
Come on now.
man, I was born and raised in this stuff.
Come on.
I'll put it this way. I started collecting comics when I was probably 10 or 11. And when I turned 14 years old, a local shop on the north side of Houston called Northside Book Emporium, run by unfortunately deceased gentleman that was a really good friend of mine, Ken Donnell, he decided he was going to run a little parking lot Comic Con, little comic show in his parking lot, and he sold, I think it was $50 I paid for my booth. And I went out there and I set up, and as my little 14-year-old bud is out there trying to sell comics, I got bit. I got bit by the bug, and it's just it was wheeling and dealing and making deals and talking to people and talking about comics and selling them comics because I know the comic and I've read that book and did you see this one? This by the same artist and this is by the same author and it's a great follow-up story, and if you got that one, you got to get this one. And it just got me started. So I started off, I was a huge nerd. I did all the comic, and once I started selling, it was just constantly buying and selling and trading and, going to shows all over the place. And then Wizard World happened. And the whole market of Comic Cons changed. And it's not a bad thing. I think it's actually kind of evolved into a much more of a hybrid pastime and fan event where you get a lot more shows like this level where you get like 5, 6, 7, 8 celebrities. You get a much more personal experience with them. But those big mega shows, they kind of, for a while there, they put out almost every other Comic-Con.
Wow.
There was mega shows and no shows.
Let me ask you this question on this. What does that? I guess in an ecosystem.
It's... My friend of mine's got an answer for this one.
Oversaturation.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
oversaturations.
Yes.
Those in here, oversaturation.
Yes. You have a situation where we're going through this cycle again. We've had this discussion with some of our crew. I get this every year. I'll get an agent that contacts me and says, "Hey, I've got this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, all from the same show. You need to bring them all to your show," which is great for a fan of that show. But you love that show and you hate that show. Yeah. So you're going to come to my show and you're going to go, "I don't want to go to that show." So we're also going to be in a situation where you are a huge fan of that show.
Right.
You don't want to go to that show. Then the next year, what am I going to do? Bring those same 5 people back?
Yeah.
No. If I bring those same 5 people back, you go, "Oh, well, I just met them last year, but okay, I'll go again." Yeah. That's kind of, okay, I'll go see them again, but you're not excited. And then I'm still not going because I still don't like that show. Nothing changed. It sucked last year and it sucks this year. So you come out to that show again, but you're not as excited.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And then the third year comes and we bring the same people again. And exactly.
It's like, all right, now we've had this before.
Right.
Yeah. So
instead of bringing 5 all at once, well, I've got an agent I'm working with right now. You've seen it's really going nuts on the internet, Amazing Digital Circus. It's something like 280 million views in a little over 2 months. So yeah, absolute insane. Has Been Hotel just got picked up by Amazon for a series and started airing. Actually, I think they're already airing the first episodes of it.
That out.
So he's got some of his talent from it. Mm-hmm. So he wanted me to bring, he's got like 5 or 6 people from that. Okay. I'm not bringing 5 or 6 people from that because it's going to kill the market for that one show.
True.
So I said, no, I'll bring 1. So we brought 1. Yeah. And she killed it. She set some huge numbers for herself. Oh. So then next year, we're bringing 2 more. Yeah. Let them kill it. The year after, we'll bring another one. Yeah. Let them kill it.
And that's a question that I was going to ask, actually. It ties into this. So I was going to ask, so we've seen the people who you bring. I'm going to ask, how do you select who actually comes? Because it seems like it's such a variety of people. It touches so many genres.
I'm gonna tell you the political answer that I should tell you as a promoter, and then I'm gonna tell you the truth.
I didn't do that too.
So the political answer is we think really hard and long and try to, and we do genuinely try to come up with a lineup that hits as many fandoms as possible. We've got George Weiner from Spaceballs. I mean, that's comedy fans, Mel Brooks fans, things like that. We've got Kevin Grevue from Underworld. I'm a huge Underworld fan, so I've promised myself when I started doing these shows I was never going to cater to myself. Guilty pleasure. He's here for me. If he don't make money, I'm a happy man. I got to have a conversation with Kevin, and it's got the best voice in Hollywood, and that is, by the way, his normal voice. That's the way he says hello. Just is his normal talk. Yeah, if y'all haven't met him, y'all are both gonna freak the hell out.
Okay.
And apologize. I do tend to have a bad mouth. So. Okay.
Go
you
for
good.
it.
Me and you on the same boat.
So all right.
There you go.
So we've got him from Underworld. That's hitting a little bit of the werewolf and the vampire genre. Then we've got Gary Anthony Williams from that's Uncle Ruckus, man.
Uncle Ruckus.
Uncle Ruckus said I don't know what's wrong with these people out here. You got to listen to me. I mean, that man is, and he's probably one of the funniest people to just have a damn conversation with. If you've watched any interview he's ever had, he's amazing.
We talked to him.
He came to us and talked to us.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
And honestly, his lineup of voices he's done. I mean, we all love Uncle Ruckus because it is just the most absurd character you can come up with, and his voice is perfect for it. But good Lord, he's been everything. I mean, his list of characters is amazing.
Bebop.
Yes, exactly. So I mean, he's got a character in SpongeBob. He's got characters from cartoon series, from animated series, from anime itself, gaming stuff, all over the place. So the point being is he hits a totally different genre. We've got Carla Perez from Power Rangers. The way we pick our lineup is we would love to say it was purely curated, that we built it that way, and we do turn down some people because we already have that touched on.
Right.
But in all reality, it comes to who we can afford for the market, who we can reach, and who is reasonable to work with. We really try to have fan-friendly guests. And sometimes I've had people that I could afford and I can bring in, but they got a bad reputation with the fans, so I don't want to bring them. So I'm really proud of the people we bring. They're all family-friendly, and they're great to be around, and they're really great with the fans. They could be sitting there. I had a guest that we brought to a show out in San Angelo, Texas, that we run, and I brought him out there, and he's just having the worst weekend. We have no idea why it didn't work for him. He just nothing. While the person right next to him is setting a record on one of the best weekends they've had at shows. But this guy, because like I said, the reason I reach out to these celebrities is they have good reputations. Is he sat there with a smile on his face the whole time. Lady comes up on Sunday. He's literally made a third of what he was expecting to make. Lady comes up on Sunday. He treats her just like he would anybody, didn't have a bad attitude. And by the end of the show, she wound up spending $580 with him. She bought all sorts of specialty things and then bought his banner for $300.
What?
Whoa. Yeah. So this is like I said, to me, it's much more important. It's much more about the family and the friend experience and the attendees having a good time than it is about us or anything else. Money comes, we worry about the celebs, we worry about the attendees, and we worry about the vendors. That's where it's at.
That's baller.
Yeah.
You got another question for him?
Yes. So, Comic Conroe. This has been a really dope experience. Some of the things that you have here, like we just went to the place. We met the animator from Animaniacs.
Yes.
When I saw that on Instagram last night, I was freaking out. I'm like, that is going to be the first place I go. And we were walking around, couldn't find him, but we saw him, the nicest guy ever.
Greg is awesome.
The things you have here, and that's another thing I'm going to ask, how do you select the vendors and the exhibitors that you have here? Because like the person that's doing the kanji lettering, it's so unique. Like you said today, so simple but so unique. How do you choose these people? I'm sure you have a lot.
Some
of
is chosen. Some is chosen. We find them at other conventions we go to, and we ask them to come and be a vendor or an artist at our show. Some listen, some don't. Trust me. There's a lot I'd love to have, but I can't get them to come because they're already booked at other shows or things like that. The other half of it is we legitimately are. We jury our rooms. We don't turn down vendors, but we limit the amounts. We need variety. So just like you had said, you came into the booth to the show and you looked around and you didn't see 150 pop vendors or 150 old toy vendors and all the same thing. You know, I mean, yeah,
you know how it goes.
Exactly. I know.
Somebody comes like, oh my god,
I've seen this pop 1,000 times.
Exactly.
I don't see it anymore.
And the worst part is you've seen it 1,000 times at that show. Not 1,000 times before. I've seen it on that booth and that booth and that booth. So so for us, it's jurying the room and making sure that it's balanced, an even split amongst different types of things, which opens up the possibilities of having more and more variety in the show. And then I get lucky. I mean, honestly, I could have never in a million years expected a kanji vendor to be here. That was amazing, and I agree. I'm super impressed with her work. We also have an original soap vendor that they make their own stuff and they style it to the character. What? So they've got like a Wolverine soap that smells like leather and and old smoke, and you're like, oh my god, that is exactly what Wolverine would smell like. So you're like, I want one of these. I'm not ever going to use it because I don't want to smell like cigar smoke and leather, but
I can smell this, bro. Smell it, you know?
Exactly.
So, eclectic will be the word.
Yes, because variety is it.
Super variety.
Yeah.
And how did you get those knights to come in and fight, man? That's neat.
Again, I go back to just bridge work and finding good people, but that was a lucky situation. They approached us at another event and mentioned that they do something like this, and we said, hey, we'll figure it out. I don't know where we're going to put you, but we will figure it out. So we were able to find a spot for them, and they've been amazing.
Yeah, I see.
And they want to grow, by the way. They want to next year, they want to try to figure out a way to build lists outside and actually do like a massive tournament. But they have to have enough lead time to build it up.
Okay.
So
yeah, man, because
can I derail it just for a split second? Because my MC's available if you guys want to talk to him, and at least for just he's got to go someplace soon. So you want to step in for a minute?
Yeah, I know you gotta do your thing.
Yeah. Man, Jeremy, you know what I need after a hard day's work of podcasting?
What's that, sir?
I need Magic Mind.
Ooh, Magic Mind.
I need to get back into my flow state, man. I need to achieve my ultra instinct again. I need to obtain my hockey. I need to be able to move at light speed, like Luffy when he punched that stupid celestial dragon in the
crazy
face.
With this anime. What about just reading comic books, man? You get a long day of work, or during lunch, drink one of them, focus, flip through them pages like that.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah. Oh my God. Guess what, guys?
What have
you ever heard this before? We have a promo code for you guys to use.
Yes, sir, we do.
That's right. Tell them, Chan.
If you use promo code Fusion20, use that promo code.
Yeah, get 20% off, man.
And I mean, you're welcome. That's what we do. Hit them with the website, my brother. Tell them.
Oh man, it is magicmind.com/Jan Fusionhaa. Okay, remember that.
Yeah, like Jan from The Office.
There it is.
Minus all the Dundies throwing.
Oh my God, but man.
And don't forget about some of the ingredients in there.
Man, what are they?
Ashwagandha, lion's mane,
mushroom.
Oh my God.
And many more.
Yes. Like I said before, the ashwagandha, it makes you so chill, so mellow. I love it.
It's probably why you focus. It's like, oh, I'm stressed. Nah, that ashwagandha in you, baby.
Nah. That stress just melts away like butter. Butter.
Gotta have it, man. Yeah, man. Just a little shot, man. Glug. I mean, whoop, just like that.
Hit that, man. Take it to the head. Next thing you know, man, you're good to go, man. You're ready to go. You're ready to work. You're ready to produce.
And you know what, though? If you you can take it after you eat, and also if you still like your coffee in the morning, man, you can drink it with your coffee too, man.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Magic Mind your way into a good day.
Yeah, man. Magic Mind.
Magic Mind.
Trust us. You're going to love it.
You know it. Don't forget, Fusionhaa 20.
Yeah, use that promo code. Don't say the Fusionhaa podcast has never given you anything.
That's right. And we out this thing. Ha! We missed it, but I don't give a shit. Was that good?
Magic Minds will fix it.
Thank you again. By the way. MC, man, tell me what's up with that, man.
So, I actually started out in the Comic Con industry as a vendor 10 years ago. So I've been doing cons for 10 years. I've traveled 30 states so far of the 50, one territory. So I've been to Puerto Rico. Nice. Lovely times. I started MCing conventions last year.
Oh, wow. Oh, man. That is...
It was on a joke.
Word?
It was a joke. It was I was helping out a convention scene, and it kind of turned into you can't do this, and I'm like, bet. And it started with a cosplay contest.
Oh, shoot.
And they're like, we need somebody to help announce.
Okay.
And so I was like, oh, well, back many moons ago, I was a theater major, a vocal performance major in college.
Okay,
and
cool.
so I was like, I could do it. So I'm like, yeah, I got you. And it turned into like this was fun. And then it went from there to, hey, can you host a panel? I need somebody to host this panel. I'm like, sure. And doing the shows for over 10 years, and Scott will say this, we've become friends with a lot of these guests. To where we see them on a regular basis. There are a lot of guests that are no longer with us, and that actually hit home for some of us.
Oh, yeah.
We just lost another one recently.
Hey.
And so it's kind of one of those, like, we call it the con family. And that's what we are. We're a con family. Some of us, we fight and we make up after a show, and it's just like any other family.
Yeah.
But even with the guests. And so it started out with anime voice actor who I became really good friends with, and we just so much now I've invited to his house. We've had dinner several times, and just it's a lot of fun. But it's able to be like, tell me about this, and all it is a conversation on stage, basically. Mm-hmm. And so the way I take MCing on stage is, as a fan, what would I want to hear as a fan, and then kind of just start our conversation with our guests, and then open it up to the audience to, hey, what would you like to, do you have a question for, example, George Weiner we had today here at the show. And I'm a huge Spaceballs fan. And so I asked him if we can do the bit, and how much can I cuss on this show?
Oh, you can say whatever you want.
Cool, fantastic, love that.
I'm the cursor here between the
Fantastic.
You good.
So it was asking George, can we do the asshole bit? Who is that?
For anyone who doesn't know it.
If you have not,
you guys please reenact it. Please do it.
If you
Please do it.
if you have not watched Spaceballs, you have to, as soon as you're done watching this video, you stop what you're doing and you watch Spaceballs.
Classic,
It is a
for
Mel
sure.
Brooks classic that everybody has to watch. And the line is, you have your Darth Vader character, his name is Dark Helmet, and the Colonel,
Colonel Sanders.
is named Colonel Sanders,
Right.
and it is who's that? And he's like,
He's an asshole, sir.
I know that. What's his name?
Asshole, sir.
Major
It's
asshole.
Major asshole.
And the other one.
Oh, he's an asshole too, sir.
And so getting to do that line with George on stage was fun. It was a blast. We had a great time. But also celebrating some of their other achievements, like he's celebrating his 50th anniversary with his wife this year. And so getting to celebrate that with them, it makes a world to us. And so all we want to do as fans of these celebrities and these guests is just celebrate the work that they've done and not the appreciation that we have for them for what they've, all the entertainment hours that we have from it. And so, and we want the guests, the attendee guests,
Right.
to just have fun. I try to make it as fun for everybody as possible, so that way, you know, if it means me jumping on stage and falling, I will trip and fall just to get a laugh out of somebody if that's what we got to do.
Respect.
But also it's just making sure, not just walking around the show, but talking to our vendors and making sure they're having a good time.
Okay.
You go to shows, and again, this is at the big box shows, where you'll walk around and all you hear is, and so you can't understand what they're saying on the microphone.
True.
2, they love the sound of their own voice. And that's all you hear is announcements all day long.
Yeah.
And on the vendor side of things, and Scott will attest to this,
Yes.
if I have to talk over the PA, I'm screaming all weekend. By the end of the weekend, I have no voice.
Yeah.
And so I'm very much of that's why I make my announcements, but I keep them short, sweet, and I get off the mic.
But I do like, before you carry on, I do like how, even when you started up, you was like naming all the celebrities, and everybody was clapping. So the way you did it, you know, you rocked the crowd, what we had at the beginning, and then you kept going on throughout the day. I did respect that.
And that's something else. And that's also a very important thing, is before every panel, even come out to the cosplay contest, it starts here in about, which is where I got to get to. We got about a little under an hour for our cosplay contest, but come out to it and you're going to see, like, it's all about getting the crowd jazzed up. If I can get the crowd jazzed, then whoever's on stage is going to have a lot more fun. That's first and foremost. That is always the goal.
Yes, sir.
Is get that crowd jazzed up. Once I have that, it's golden. And you're going to have a blast, because it does translate. If I'm not having fun on stage, you're going to know, and it's really boring. I have been in panels where I've watched panels where the moderator of a panel had no clue of the body of work that was
that's
and that is, I am very much, and so, and that's rough, because you know what, you not only, that's disrespectful, one, to the guests, but that's also disrespectful to your audience, because now they're not you can't entertain them. And so even if, let's just, Gary Anthony Williams, if I have never heard who he is, let's say I've lived under a rock for many years, and I've never watched Star Wars, Boondock Saints, Whose Line Is It Anyway, the list goes on, SpongeBob SquarePants, the list goes on. I've never watched any of that stuff. I don't know who he is. The night before I have a panel with somebody, I am doing research and I'm getting notes together, and I have a list of questions, like bullet points. Tell me about how you got into the business. Always start with that. Some of your favorite roles. I know you were in this movie. Let's talk about this movie, and also talking to them right before the show, right before we go on stage, to let them know, like, hey, is there anything you want to do? You want to plug anything? Right. Is there anything you're pushing right now? What do we really want to talk about? And go from there. And then it just turns into a conversation. And I try to make it as organic as possible. I don't like scripts.
Same here.
You know, because if it's scripted, oh my gosh.
Not your words.
And because you see the moderator. It says here
oh my gosh.
You were on Star Wars? What Star Wars?
Is that like Star Trek, but with war?
Exactly, right? And you know what? And we joke about that, but there is a story of a panel. I'm not going to say the show.
Right.
But there was a panel with Hayden Christensen.
Oh, no.
And the moderator didn't know anything about Star Wars. Had never seen Star Wars. Which I will say this, you know, hey, to be fair, there are some people that don't watch Star Wars.
But you can't moderate the panel and not know about Star Wars. That's crazy. What are we doing?
That's like me being at an anime show, never watched anime. And I'm a huge anime guy. I love anime. I've, been watching a couple of days now.
What's your favorite? Oh, well, never mind. A couple of days. This guy.
It depends on what mood I'm in.
He knows more about anime than he knows about movies.
If it's animation. Period. I'm an aspiring voice actor. I'm a puppeteer.
Okay.
But so for anime, it's hard to pick a favorite because it really depends on what my mood is that day.
Okay.
I do have a top 5.
Oh, let's say that top 5.
So on my top 5, you have Death Note, and this is not in any order. Okay, this is just 5 animes that I love. 5 animes. So we have Death Note.
Not mad at it.
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Oh, let's go. Let's go. The GOAT.
Saint Seiya.
Okay.
Yeah, you ain't ready for that.
Okay, I like that. Okay.
You know that was
If you get a chance to find, do not find the American version. You have to find the Japanese of it because they watered that down in the 90s. It is so gory.
Oh,
I gotta watch it now.
Man, take a little trip down
Dragon Ball Z and mash it up with Berserk.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Is Berserk levels of blood on that?
Yes.
Oh, count me in.
So I've got Full Metal Alchemist, Death Note, Saint Seiya, and I know it's going to be weird because I just named those 3. Yuri on Ice.
Yuri on Ice is so good.
It is so pretty.
It's so good.
I'm like, if I just need something wholesome, Yuri on Ice. And I never wanted to watch it. I had a friend, she was like, you just need to watch it. And I watched it and I didn't cry.
Yeah, she did, but that's cool. I did too. It was sad.
But I think for a current anime right now, it would be a toss-up between, Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer?
Demon Slayer.
Okay.
Because it's really hard to choose because I love Spy Family and I love.
Okay.
What did we just finish watching recently? Solo Leveling. I'm caught up on Solo Leveling.
Solo Leveling was great.
So good. And you got the classics. You got the Bleach, the One Piece. You got all these classics. But Demon Slayer is just so beautifully drawn.
Yeah,
and
really
it's just. And I mean, the last season, I know the new season just started up again, and the last season just came out. Last season, I mean, that was a masterclass of how to direct animation and voiceover because that was so powerful that if you weren't in tears, it's beautiful. And
I'm happy you said that because a lot of people online, they were complaining about the thirds. I thought it was so good.
It was great. I mean, it's just, again, this was a master class on how to do something to draw out the emotion. It was short. It was very short and sweet, to the point. Sometimes that's all it needs. But I try to take that as a fan, and I take that into the convention scene now. Whether I'm behind a booth vending, selling whatever merch I'm selling, on a stage talking to these voice actors, face actors, any artists, or just talking to the crowd. If I see somebody, if I'm like, hey, man, that is a great cosplay. You look amazing. Oh my God, how did you do? I always ask that question. How did you start your build? And it's one of those things. Get your cosplayers to feel like, get them to feel loved because cosplay is beautiful.
Yeah.
And I was looking at
what they're fans.
Yeah, and then they put so much time and effort into that cosplay.
Oh my gosh!
So when you go and say, "Hey, man, I really like that," man, that probably warms them in the jellies, man. They feel that.
When I was Deadpool and stuff like that, a little chilly Deadpool.
And I know we've done again. I've known we're going on 10 years now that I've known Scott, and we met as vendors.
Yes, both of us vendors.
As vendors, and it was also one of those things where we were usually, for whatever reason, we were always across from each other.
It was Faith, bro.
Across or next to it was always.
And it was like
you again. Yeah, you again.
Well, here's some. I'm across from you. But here's the funny part. We never asked your name. What is your name? Not to be rude.
He doesn't have a name. He is without a name.
Okay.
No, I'm Hector. My name is Hector.
How you doing, Hector?
Great to meet you guys.
By the way,
I know. I was like, I know that.
Yeah, he was talking. I was like, from the moment you said something, I go, we didn't even ask this dude's name.
So we can't even stop him.
We didn't want to stop you, homie.
He is the MC. That is all.
The MC. Y'all heard him. The MC
of Comic Conroe.
That's why I get the mic from you.
It's actually been fun because when I started working with Scott on his conventions, it was hey, you know what? You're a friend of mine. I respect you and I care about you as a friend. I will be at your shows. That's how it started out. And then last year we were talking, and I was like, and he asked me to MC his San Angelo Comic Con.
That was right after Anime Mundo.
Yeah, and I wasn't able to make it out to Mundo because I was at another show, and Planet Anime. And so he asked me, hey, would you MC the show? And I was like, you know what? Sure, let's do it. I got you. I'll be there. You let me know. You tell me when you need me there, and I'll be there. And so, and then it turned into, we just talked about this. Actually, on Wednesday, I am now part of Galactic Events. And I will be doing all of his shows going forward, and maybe even putting on our own shows starting
nice.
now. We're, and it's been this is one of those organic families from all the staff, and it's not just between him and myself. All of us come from different walks of life. I'm not from the Houston area. I'm from the DFW. And
we won't hold it against him.
We'll let him live. We'll let him live.
He is flawed. Everybody out there, we understand.
No one's perfect, right?
I like infrastructure.
Oh man,
he's out.
Yeah. Yep. Unfortunately, they never finish it.
Yeah.
We're starters, not finishers. Just like the Cowboys.
Shots fired.
It's a Texas joke, people.
Yeah. Y'all are
For
from
the
Texas, you won't get
uninitiated,
it.
yeah.
The ones that aren't.
Yeah.
I might be a Green Bay fan, but if I have to choose a Texas team, it is always the Houston Texans and the Houston Astros. No other team matters.
I don't love you.
Yep.
So I will say that.
Yeah, he is blowing smoke up your asses, but that is actually his fan base. So yeah,
At least he's honest.
exactly.
Mad at that, bro.
But we can all say the Cowboys suck.
Yes. There's one thing we can all agree on.
We can all agree on that.
He's like.
I just watch. I don't watch sports. I just watch Kurako's basketball and haiku, man.
There we go.
Yeah, that's all I got.
But I'm like, what can you say?
But yeah, and so I hope anybody watching this out there, look us up, find us, and see where we're at. See if we're coming to a town near you. I mean, see if we're coming to your area.
Yeah.
Because just because we're not the MC of the show or the promoter of the show doesn't mean we're not at the show.
Yeah.
So
we are both still active vendors.
Yes.
So
I mean, I'm on a 3-week run where I don't get to see home.
Yeah.
So like from here, I go home for 2 days, and then I'm on the road to Midland, Texas for another show, and then I got another show in Dallas, and then I got another show after that. Then I'm just talking to somebody about going out to Vegas for a show, and I'm just like, oh, okay.
Hell yeah.
Oh man, nice.
So and I'm gonna give you a little now.
Do your thing, bro.
Here's the thing about being a vendor. We get to travel to some really cool places.
and we don't get to see him.
And we don't get to enjoy it. I made it a point over the last 3 years that I said, from now on, I am going to spend one day just going through the city and walking the city. I have made it a point. There are certain shows that I'm like, nope, this is my vacation show. So I will go a week. I either go a week early or I stay a week after the show. Just because I am going to go on vacation, and that is always my Orlando show. I go to the show, and I am a Disney nerd.
Oh, with the Mickey ears.
I wear my Mickey ears with pride.
I ain't mad at you.
And I have been fortunate enough, because of doing this, I have met a lot of Disney voice actors. I've done work with Disney voice actors.
Oh, okay.
I've helped out with some charity projects and doing some charity.
Farmer.
And and we're talking about bringing out Bill Farmer to a show, and
Wow. Okay.
I got to host a panel with Jason Marsden, who was Max.
Oh my.
And so also he's in Hocus Pocus. So just being very fortunate to do that.
Yeah.
But I am a Disney, like I am the tour guide when I take people to Disney.
Oh, God.
I
you've
will
been
tell-
there
I will-
multiple times,
I
it
will
sounds
tell,
like.
I go once a year, but I know the place like the back of my hand. It's one of those things that I like. Oh, and if you look over here to the left, you see this lamp. This lamp is there in the window. That lamp, and I turn into that guy. And it's like I hold the little flag up.
30 something, blah, blah, blah.
I am that weirdo. So
No, it's not
I'm
weird.
that. No, it's
You're a fanatic, yo.
no, it's weird.
Never mind.
Once again, at least he's honest.
I know what but it's also one of those things. It's like, yes, it's really cool. Hey, I've been to Seattle, Washington. I've been to Phoenix, Arizona, Orlando, Puerto Rico. I was just in Tennessee last month, in Chattanooga, Kansas City, Oklahoma, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Yeah, that's right. Oh my gosh.
El Paso.
All over Texas.
traveling.
I mean, Texas alone is like you've gone to 50 states.
Yeah.
Well, it got all the terrains here.
Yeah. I've been every corner of Texas, Portland, Oregon, and so Indiana, Ohio, and just all these places. I was so upset earlier this year. I was supposed to go to Hawaii for a show, and the show got canceled and moved to November. Oh yeah, my heart was broken.
Oh, and when are the 2 shows that you're running MCing for?
Yeah, so I will not be going to Hawaii this year because I'm also one who's big on commitment. I have committed to being the MC, and not just MCing, but doing other. I wear many hats. That's one thing about us. We don't stay. We're not. Scott here is not just a promoter.
Right.
If the trash needs taken out, Scott will take out the trash. If this needs, and same way here. If celebrities need handle, like I jump in with the celebrity.
I watched that.
we
been watching all day.
we jump in where we need to be, because at the end of the day,
Right.
Hell, I volunteered for this. I volunteered for this interview just so I could sit down. It's been the best.
It worked out.
It's been the best 35 minutes of my life. It's wonderful this weekend. It's amazing.
I'm not gonna lie. When I thought, like, when it was kind of joking, like, oh yeah, you're gonna interview him next, and I was like, I don't, wait, I can sit down. I don't have to be out there for 20 minutes. I'm like, let's go. I'm here. But
Sign me up.
But again, it's just we don't stay in one lane. We wear all the hats.
I see you.
Talking to vendors, making sure vendors are having fun. Because again, we're vendors first. So making sure vendors are having fun. Make sure the guests are having fun. Then make sure our celebrities are having fun. And our volunteers, making sure everybody is okay, and safe, because this is our safe space, right?
Yep.
So you got the food for 'em, so that's pretty baller.
Yeah, we had we had the catering for our celebrity guests, but this is our safe space. This is where conventions, and this unfortunately doesn't happen all the time at a lot of shows, but conventions are supposed to be for us to come and express our love for our fandom, whether it be anime, face acting, cartoons, movies, Disney, whatever the case may be. Spaceballs, theater. This is our safe space, and it's some shows don't have that respect for it anymore. And one thing about Comic Conroe, San Angelo, Anime Mundo, and El Paso, it is a safe space. We have a zero tolerance policy here. If we're having an event and we have somebody that wants to be a heckler,
Yeah.
Oh, word. Wow.
Hey,
we're out.
Get them out.
We ain't got.
Wait, pause. That's a thing? We got hecklers that come to cons?
I have.
I have some glasses up.
I have chased somebody and pulled them out of a car.
What the? Whoa. Wait.
Because they decided that they wanted to jump on stage as I'm interviewing a voice actor to promote their thing and try to be Mr. Beast.
Oh.
And thought they were cute, and to cause an issue. And they thought it was cute, and they were staying at the same hotel that we were.
Yeah.
And they showed
You
up.
were safe.
Thought you were cool, player.
Saw him. I recognized him.
Dang.
He didn't recognize me.
Wow.
They lowered the window to ask a question. I reached, and I'm like, "You are a dumb fuck." I legitimately reached into this car and pulled this scrawny kid out the window, and I was just like, ow. So
There you go.
Collective Events does not condone any violence admitted upon any of its attendees. However, if you earn it, you probably get what you deserve.
You play stupid game, you win stupid prizes.
Great disclaimer, by the way.
I am the nicest person in the world.
Right.
But when you put other people's life in danger,
One.
I have a zero tolerance, because it's not just other people's life. There are kids involved.
Mm-hmm.
There are elderly people involved. There a lot of people could get hurt, and
Right.
I don't. And it's a zero tolerance. And luckily that has only happened once
Thank God.
in 10 years.
Sorry. To address the heckling issue, though, there are any number of things that people unfortunately try to drag politics or opinions into everything. And I mean, we experienced it ourselves for our first show ever. We booked Kevin Sorbo.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hercules.
it's freaking Hercules. I mean, no one thought or cared when we signed him what he thought politically. But he had the audacity to come out and say stuff for Trump. And unfortunately, a bunch of people just went off and ballistic. And we had fans here that were just having fun.
Yeah.
And of course, all it takes is one idiot,
always one.
because they weren't here talking about politics. They weren't here talking about anything else. They were talking about Hercules and Andromeda. And actually, there was a whole fan group from Call the Conqueror. I was like, that's cool. This dude came in full outfit, looking just no shirt, full muscled out dude, had the whole thing looking just like Cole. I was like, of course, he's wearing a wig because you ain't gonna get those flowing locks like that, like naturally. But no, they came out and it was people were out here semi-protesting. It's like, guys, if you don't understand, this is about a fandom.
Way too much.
Exactly. So, yes, in answer to are there hecklers? Yeah, there's always gonna be hecklers, and it goes on both sides. You'll get the religious right that'll do stuff. And it's like, guys, this is about a fandom. It's not about
This is
being
totally
anti this or pro that.
This is different.
This is an event about family and friends, and like you just said, fanaticism. I've said this at every interview I've ever had, and I want to make sure I drop this in here because it is one thing that I stand on is very, very important. I get people that ask me, oh, you're a fan about comics or a fan about this. Everybody's a fan of something.
Mm-hmm.
You can be a nerd for cars.
Yep.
You can be a nerd for audio-visual equipment. I know a guy that runs AV for shows, and if I literally say a number, he can assign that to a cable that he needs to run equipment because he knows what it is by heart. He'll tell you how many watts go through a microphone at any given time, and it's everything.
Yeah.
That's science, man.
But he is a nerd for it. So because you're a nerd for Yuri on Ice, or you're a nerd for Disney, or you're a nerd for like me, like I am for Star Wars, or Star Trek. I'm one of the weird ones that's both. I like both of those things. Whatever your personal fan nerddom is, you're supposed to be able to enjoy it and have a good time and not have outside influences affecting it.
And this is what this is for. Basically.
Exactly. When he says safe space,
I think all this stuff, our fandoms transcend politics and all that.
Absolutely.
It's just about everybody getting together and being like-minded.
They absolutely should.
And we all have those, and we talk about this a lot, but a lot of us have different political views, different religious views, but at the end of the day, whatever side of the fence you're on, whatever religion you are, it means absolutely nothing because we only care. Our number one care is the fandom, and we're here to have fun. First and foremost, we're here to make sure everybody else is having fun.
Cool.
And as every Orion will say, or every Vulcan will say, we all bleed green.
Yeah.
I mean, wait, what? No.
Yeah. I mean,
Wait a minute.
I need
Sorry, Vulcans. Sorry, I got confused.
I had to check something real quick. Something's not right with me.
but no, it's very true. It's like it's all about the fandom. It's all about. I've been a nerd all my life.
Yes.
I mean, comic books, film, animation, Disney, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I mean, again, if the mouse says to buy it, I buy it.
Yeah.
No questions asked. But that's what we want to create. We want to create the safe space for everybody to come out, whether it's the 5-month-old to the 90-year-old to the 105-year-old. We want a safe space for everybody to come out and enjoy the show. And again, you were asking about guests earlier, like how do you choose a guest? That is what Scott and I. He'll ask, hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of this person? I'm like, well, I don't know if he would be right for right now. Right. Because right now this is hot right now, so maybe we'll go this route. Okay, well, what about for this? Picking a wrestler. Okay, now are we gonna get somebody who's actively wrestling right now? No, we're not. They're gonna go to the big box shows where they're gonna make thousands and thousands of millions of dollars. And
they're going to charge thousands and thousands and millions of dollars.
But there are wrestlers who transcend time.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Brutus the Barber Beefcake is a great example of that. He was around for what? I think his last match was in 2015, 2012.
Really?
And so he's had a career.
Yeah.
I got to do and this was awesome for me as a wrestling fan. In San Angelo, we had the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, who I think
we're working on booking him for next year's Conroe.
Oh,
okay.
So, but in San Angelo, we got to be at the arena he wrestled in.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to walk with him and go down memory lane of, I remember this locker room. This is where the boys would get dressed, and this is where we would do this, and he had a moment where we walked through the venue before the show opened. Nobody else was in. It was just a few of us, and he just kind of stood in the middle of the venue, and just kind of did the. Oh man,
taking it all in,
It brought back so many memories, and it was an honor for me, one, being a huge fan of the $1 Million Man, and being able to do that and then have a panel with him and talk to him about, and going back and talking about all those stories of, with the Terry Funks and the Dory Funks and time with Hogan and all the things. So, and to give him his time, and it was great. And it was one of those moments. So, not just making moments for the fans out here and the guests, but also I get to make those moments for myself of like,
oh, cool.
And I'm not one who takes pictures with anybody. I'm not a social media guy. I don't post anything about it's very rare to see a picture of me on social media. But I don't take pictures with the guests because it's like, you know what, this is for me. Okay. That was the one time I took a picture with a guest. I was like, please, this, because again, that was for me. And so I'm very fortunate to be in this position. I'm very fortunate and thankful to Scott for allowing me to be in this position. And right now we're planning for the future, and the future is looking bigger and brighter going forward. And we're going to bring in some. Yeah.
The ultimate goal of Galactic Events is to build a series of shows that we run ourselves, and then to network with our groups. And Hector has said that currently he has no intention of being one of the satellite groups, but it may change over years. We've got several other members of our group that want to run a show themselves, but they don't have the funding. They don't have the support. They don't have the structure. Yep. So the goal we have is we're going to build our system. We're going to develop and not to give away a little secret sauce here, but if you go to San Angelo, you're going to get a very, very similar experience to what you get at Conroe. We're not building different shows. We're building shows in different places that cater to that area. So when we get our system developed to where we're happy with it, then one of our crew says, hey, I want to run a show in Iowa, I want to run a show in Oklahoma City, or I want to go over to the Panhandle of Florida and run a show. Great, we're going to support you. We're going to bring our crew. We already know everybody. You already work together. We're going to do this and that, and that's your show.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
You know, we're gonna build up your show. We're gonna make your show just as good and successful as our shows are. And then, like I said, you know, we'll continue to spread as our team spreads. As far as they want to go, that's where we go.
And like he said, I have zero desire to be a show promoter.
Yet, I'm working on him.
I don't know. I see a little twinkle in your eye,
Yeah,
man.
you got a passion, homie.
But my passion is making sure the fans are having fun. That is number one, end of day. As long as the fans are having fun, I'm having fun. And as long as that, if the fans are having fun, that means the guests are having fun. If the celebrity guests are having fun, the team's having fun. And you know what? All the stress of putting on a show comes Sunday. We close at what time?
5 o'clock.
Okay, so
Get there.
So at five. So come Sunday.
5 tomorrow, unfortunately.
I know.
Come Sunday at 5:05. I can finally breathe a sigh of relief and be like,
Beer 30. I mean,
rum 30,
Oh, okay. Run.
rum 30. We skipped the beer, but I get. That's when I finally say we did a great job. The team came together, and the guests had fun. Attendees had fun.
Right.
and we're not broke.
And I get to have dinner tonight. Yeah. But again, it's if I did this for the money, I would not be doing this very long.
Stressed.
Like, because I'm not here. Yeah, money helps.
How much easier is it to be a vendor?
That's
for another show.
That's a whole podcast all by itself. Just how much easier is it to be a vendor than a promoter?
Wow. Right.
But I am not here for the money. I am here because I love the fandoms.
Right.
I'm here to entertain and make sure everybody has a great time. That's it. End of day, whether I'm getting paid now, pay helps again.
Of course.
Yeah,
It's not what you said last week.
Nothing is free. Nothing is free. But
Damn it.
you get what you pay for. I'm very big on this. And anybody out there that you feel like you are worth more, you go for what you're worth. And Scott has taught me this, because at first it was, we're going to give you a couple of bucks in a room, to, oh shit, you're really good at what you do. This is what you should be asking for. And he's actually helped me shop myself to other conventions.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I told him, it's like, I understand you can do it for that price, but you're bringing a value. If you're bringing a value, you need to know your own value. When you bring that value, you need to present that to people and say, this is what I'm worth and this is why I'm worth this. And he has definitely, handled that. Right. Unfortunately, speaking of which, we got an announcement about to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, no worries, man.
So I know we're about to wrap up, but guys, come check out the cosplay contest. Make sure, bring that way your viewers can watch the cosplay contest, because it's going to be fun. I think we have, last I checked, it was at like 25, maybe 30 contestants that signed up. I don't know if they all made it to prejudging, but I've got to run to make my announcement for it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for letting me sit down.
No problem.
That was nice, wasn't it?
Hey, boss.
Thank you for sitting down.
Boss, thank you for letting me sit down, boss. I'm going back and work now, boss.
I flagged you over here to get you a break.
Boss, sit down, man.
Don't let me go.
Come on now. But on that note,
Oh man, this has been great.
we on camera too now. By the way, I got you.
I was gonna say, I looked over and saw that it wasn't.
I saw her moving.
She did that, and let me tell you also, here's a little secret sauce of our own. I got the backup now working, so I got the audio backed up. Don't worry about that. So it'd be
No, you're good. I just saw no red light, and I was like, wait a minute. Is that,
damn!
No. Yeah, I was.
We
like,
still got audio. One, we got audio in those in those mics, and then two, she like let us know. Yeah.
No. You're good. You're good.
So we'll let you get. You have a con to run. So thank you for coming out with us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for the good almost hour break and take a leg off. Damn.
Yeah. Now it's time for you to go put in some work.
Yeah, exactly. I got 23 minutes to get everything done and make sure that the cosplay contest goes off well. Yep. So thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you.
No problem.
All right, well, I'm Chad,
I'm Jeremy.
and this is
Scott.
Scott. And it's Fusionhaa. We out this thing. Ha!
All right.